a lot of times people see homelessness and think of addiction and think of mental illness. We see so many different types of homelessness. We see people that just lost their job and were evicted from their apartment and were never able to get back on their feet, and so they found themselves sleeping outside. We see people that lost family members and lost friends, and they end up camping out in the woods here in Fort Worth. Everybody has a different story. I've talked to people that it was their choice to become homeless, and some people the choice was made for them.
Well, a lot of people, the stereotype of homelessness is that in our minds it's the man standing on the corner with the sign who's dirty, who looks unstable, you know, maybe talking to himself or something threatening in a way.
When I tell people, oh, you know, that I work at night and I work with homeless people and this and that, they're just like, oh my God. Homeless people, you know, they're dangerous, and you know that they're just like ew, kind of. But I mean, it's just, they're just like you and me. They're just going through tough times, and this is the way that they can cope with things, and they just need a hand to help them out. And
last time we did a homeless count in Fort Worth was February of 2015, and we counted about 2,000 people, and that includes about 217 were living outside, unsheltered, and a little over 1,000 were living in emergency shelters. And then the balance of that is folks who are living in transitional housing facilities, or they may be in a domestic violence shelter. So overall, we have about 2,000 people. Nationally, we know that about 600,000 people are homeless on any given night, and that over the course of a year, about 1 million people experience homelessness.
My name's Pat Murphy. I spent 35 years homeless. The cause for it was I got to visit Vietnam. Wasn't my idea. And I came back and I knew I was different, I just didn't know how. Years later I got told I had PTSD. Not having any support, I had to deal with it myself. And the best way I found of doing it was to get off by myself. I've been able to study the different groups of homeless. There is no one label of homelessness. Just you've got your mentally ill. They can't get the care they need. They don't have the support to keep them on their meds, so they go off their meds, and that makes matters worse. You've got your veterans, which have problems, and to this day, they're not getting the care that they need and deserve and have earned. You've got ex-convicts, people who have made a wrong decision somewhere along the line. Then you've got people who have succumbed to an addiction. And then you've got people that just, they had a catastrophic incident. You know, I mean, their house burnt down, they lost their job and couldn't find another job, so they lost their house and their car and everything else. A family member or close friend died, and they couldn't handle the situation. To get them out of homelessness, it takes different approaches, different battle plans to bring this about. After 35 years, I had some very loving people from Catholic Charities. They've got an outreach program. They go out and hunt down the homeless that are not living in, quote, acceptable accommodations. If you could do this on your own, you would have done it by now. You need somebody fighting for you.
So SOS was created to reach out to the people that are sleeping outside, sleeping in camps, sleeping under bridges, sleeping in their parked cars. So SOS is designed to go out to the folks that are sleeping outside. We served in 2014, we made 642 contacts, and we're going out and serving the folks that are the most vulnerable and don't have anyone to advocate for them.
Catholic Charities has a day SOS team, and they do outreach with folks. What we've realized as a community is that the needs don't stop at 5 o'clock. And so, you know, this is actually the first time a night team has existed in Fort Worth, and it's only been around since November. So our job is to go out and find folks, make sure they have what they need. We catch up with them about appointments, and you know, what we try to do really is ultimately we want to help folks get off the street. There are more than on two hands. I can kind of cite examples of people. I had a guy yesterday who just said, I'm a camper. You know, it's what I do. I camp out here. He literally said, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I'm not crazy, I just want to be outside. I just like to camp. And he had a very nice, well done, I mean, organized camp. And so I think they are out there.
Like Hillbilly and Mike, where we're going right now, they've done the whole Lancaster thing and being around people, and it's just not their thing. They'd rather be alone. Hillbilly's, he's an awesome guy. I mean, I love all our clients. They're all unique in their own way, and so I mean, you just learn to love them. He showed me where he stayed, and after, you know, a couple times us hanging out, you know, getting to know each other, I mean, he just opened up and he said, hey Fernando, why don't you ever come by my camp? And I was like, well, I was just waiting for an invitation. So, I mean, he's been here at his camp, and then he's been housed, but I mean, for him, he feels so much safer out here than being housed. That's the only way I remember that it's this way. Hillbilly! Yeah. Hey! Yeah. You coming? Where's Hillbilly? Is that Mike?
Yeah.
Hey brother, how about you show me how to get in here?
Here's my house. I got an air mattress. I sleep in comfort. I got 5 pillows.
This is true. He makes it, I don't know how he does this.
5 pillows. I hang coats and stuff up over there.
Hillbilly, you're gonna need some bug spray, because I do have bug spray.
You bet we do. I need all sorts of stuff. That's
okay.
fine.
Well, I'll bring you some water.
Too.
I just happened to see these massive bug spray bottles today.
Here.
And I was like,
Some wipes.
Oh, those help.
Absolutely. Maybe
we want you to keep your bottom smooth.
Want some water?
Thank you, yes.
Where's Michael? There he is. What we do is we try and meet everybody where they're at individually. And so for a guy like Hillbilly, we'll never stop going to see him, even though he may not want an apartment or may not want some of the things other folks want. But we're still going to be his friend. And really, that's it. That's where it gets to the point where you build a relationship with someone. They're not a client anymore. They're a friend of yours. And so it's just like you going over to a friend's house and sitting on their couch. I've got people that I go see just to spend time with, you know.
Some of the homeless, they'll say that they want to be homeless. That's because they don't have a choice in anything. They don't have a choice in where they live or what they eat. And they don't have the choices that people take for granted every day. So the one choice they figure they can make is by saying that they want to be homeless, then they've made a choice to be in the situation they're in.
A lot of times you do come across folks that do want to stay outside, and we help make that a little bit more doable for them and make sure that we're always going out there and visiting them.
As a hillbilly, I don't sit here and take trails that humans have made. I go through the woods. So I find things that a lot of other people don't find or see, because I've been doing this now for 30 years. So I started finding woods. And I sat here and found out that I have an eye for finding oasis. Something you can just come to and everything's gone. No arguments, no fights, no nothing. Everyone just loves everyone, helps everyone out, and enjoys. And takes a look at the beauty around, the birds chirping, other than Lancaster. You know, we could be up on Lancaster, you know, and causing problems, this, that, being stolen from, whatever. But God doesn't want that. He wants us to sit here and enjoy what He's created, and it's awesome.
I mean, he's a really cool guy. He really is. He's got his heart in the right place. I mean, of course, like anybody on the street, he has a lot of stuff going on. But in the end, he's an awesome guy. He's camp is amazing.
I have Jesus in me. I've had Jesus in me since I was 17, but I've strayed so much. And it took God to sit here and take me through a few things until I actually really got Him in my heart. But in like 2.5 weeks, I've had I've had 2 wishes and prayers to God. You know, I've wanted them for so long, ever since I was probably like 17, 18, you know.
There's definitely more that needs to be done, or there wouldn't be a homeless person out there. The one thing you can't lose is hope. Because if you ain't got hope, ain't nothing gonna happen.